Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dinner and a Game. Thank you so much for joining us, and I have some things to fix because, as always, with Dinner and a Game, we have tons of features because that's what every single little technical difficulty is, ladies and gentlemen. A feature for you to watch as I madly panic and try to fix everything. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tonight is kind of like an impromptu thing. Nothing is actually really ready, and as you can tell by me getting everything together at the last minute here, we are going to be setting up this as our regularly scheduled Tuesday night game, in which we're going to attempt to play for you guys a World of Darkness open world game. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Mellinger, for liking the stream. We really appreciate it. But we're going to be doing a World of Darkness open world game where everyone, and for those of you who don't know, World of Darkness is a urban fantasy, dark-esque game where we all play different characters from mythology, but in a modern setting. So, as an example, we have people playing werewolves tonight, people playing fairies and fae, people playing were-tigers, or were-lions, I should say. We have human mages. We have running the gambit of just about every single little thing you can think of for the supernatural as it sits. This game came out back in the 90s and was pretty popular. And since then, it's gone through some iterations. There is a current version, which is the 5th edition of the game. We're not playing 5th edition tonight because we chose to do this as open world. So there's a lot of these races and character tropes and everything like that that are not in 5th edition yet. I think the only thing in 5th edition is Changeling, Vampire, and Mage isn't out yet, is it? For 5th edition?
So.
I don't think so. I think it's only Changeling, Vampire, and Werewolf that are out right now.
Actually, I think the most recent World of Darkness thing that I saw had the werewolves, the vampires, and oh crap!
Oh, and the hunters.
Yeah,
the mortals. Yeah, and of course, so. But what we're doing is we're playing what they call the 20th Anniversary Edition, which is where they took all the books from the 90s, they reprised all the lore and updated it for modern times, they made some changes to the mechanics, and they republished everything, and that's what we're using for tonight. So, let me go ahead and introduce the amazing people who have decided that for some reason they want to go on this chaos-filled ride with me. So let's start out with the folks that you're going to be seeing represent these characters tonight, and the characters they're going to be playing, and give you a little bit of idea of who they are in the I was going to say the real world, but it's kind of the internet world, so
in our world.
There you go, in our world. We have up in the top left corner, in the first box on the left there, we have M, who is also Starshade Stories on oops, sorry, something happened. Starshade Stories on TikTok. She will be playing Rosalind. Em, tell us a little bit about Rosalind.
Rosalind is a she. She is of House Illinu. Did I pronounce it correctly finally?
Illunid?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that word.
And what is she? What type of fae is she?
She's a she.
She's a she?
Yeah, she's a she. That's actually how you pronounce it.
I know.
That is such a nightmare to take notes on.
Okay, the spelling is Sidhe, but it's pronounced she.
Yeah.
It's a Celtic word.
Yep.
That's all I got.
That's okay. I'll call it Celtic, and Jessica will yell at me for an hour. So
it's not
wacky pronunciations.
Oh, those words with the English, with the languaging. But anyway, and
what talking about the Celtic gods?
Celtic gods, all those Celtics. But anyway, that's enough of me insulting other people's culture. Let's go back to insulting my own. What can you give us? What can you give us a little bit about Rosalind's backstory? We are actually doing what's called a session 0, ladies and gentlemen. We have created the characters, and we've kind of started creating how the characters relate to one another. But we're working through that tonight, and we're actually going to be doing our first, I guess you'd say, in-depth sessions of roleplay as we do this. This is going to be not really meet cutes for the character, But this is gonna, because we've already kind of done those with some arguments about people peeing on furniture first.
Oh, motherfucker.
We'll continue.
Your notes ready?
Yep.
Go for it.
Got my whole pencil case.
Oh my god.
And she had a rough day, so there is going to be some tension.
I've been nonstop all over my campus all day, and now I get to come home and be menaced by this motherfucker stealing my chairs.
Like, sometimes you gotta steal a chair.
I'm not mad.
Nobody's mad.
Furious.
Okay, what the hell was I saying? I forgot where I was going.
Where are we?
You're introducing Rosalind to the crowd.
Oh yeah, Rosaline.
Rosaline, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Shit. Rosaline is a... Whoa, what is going on with my cameras? Okay, hello. Please stop glitching. Behave. Okay. So, Rosaline is a lady of the court. She just has the title because she did a big no-no and decided to be like, fuck marriage and leave. So she gave up all of her freeholdings in order just to keep her title. Now she is in Seattle, has her little coffee shop and art gallery that she runs, and harasses Penny, her apprentice, at all hours of the day.
And Penny happens to be not only your apprentice. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want to follow Star Shard Stories, I posted up her beacons on there. So she is a content creator. She is on TikTok. She appears on multiple streams, including this one for us, and we're very grateful. She's might be a little overworked, but we're you know, we appreciate it. We appreciate the sacrifice.
I'm good now since my character sheet is like pretty much done at this point. I'm good.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad everything's safe now. But we, speaking of Penny and Penny being your apprentice, Penny is also connected to one of our other characters, Sphinx.
Oh, hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Sphinx Akasha, another hardworking creator. Oops, I put the wrong link up there. I put Ivy's link in. But Sphinx is a creator on TikTok. He appears on multiple streams as well, including another one here for our Wednesday show, which is our D&D show. But he also appears on ADH Adventures, which you do that on several nights a week, don't you?
Yeah, I do that on Friday, every other Friday. It's for the game I run, Agents of the Circle, which is a homebrew Eberron campaign. And then on Saturdays, Saturday afternoons, Heroes Arc, where I play Raziel, an Asamar Necromancer.
And you actually did a guest shot with that one, didn't you?
I did a guest shot on last night, and we'll be back on next Monday with the show Gods of Orlea, as Raziel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. So,
yes, I'm taking the party through a trial.
aren't you kind of the judge in the trial?
Judge, arbiter, guide.
The cause.
Well, no, I'm not the cause. I was brought in by my god to like kind of like, hey, you have to do this now. And I'm like, I guess, sure. And this is like, just do the things. Like, all right, I'll do the things. And I'm here of my own, not of my own volition, but I'm enjoying myself.
Not of my own volition, but I am enjoying myself. So
like if I've got to be there, I'm gonna have some fun.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Thank you very much for the follow. Oh, thank you for the follow, baby.
Aww.
Or for the
Yeah,
like.
I'm already subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Same.
Yay! And oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, before I get too far into introducing everybody, let me find something real quick. Where'd it go?
Yeah,
Oh,
I just saw my home BTM group pop up on the screen. I'm like, yay!
we are doing one other thing. We're trying to get to 100 followers on YouTube so we can get our branding for the YouTube channel so it doesn't have that weird just squiggle numbers and numbers of it. And if you can help us get there, if we get to 100 followers, we're going to give this to one person. This is the limited edition D&D 5e box set. It has the it's got the standard cover art, but it has the glossy foil covers on it, so the foil stamped. Comes with a DMG, comes in this wonderful case, and it can be yours for the low price of one follow on our YouTube channel. If we hit 100 followers tonight, we will be giving that away to one lucky follower when we hit 100 followers. So do what you can. Send this out to your friends. Let them know that they need to follow us on YouTube, and they get a chance to win. It's automatic. Everyone gets a chance to win because we don't pay anyone to be here. So please, everyone follow us on YouTube if you haven't yet, so you can get a chance to win that too. But all that being said, speaking of people who create things and are part of this lovely madness that we are doing tonight, we also have...
I had not actually... sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No.
I hadn't actually introduced the character yet.
Oh, God. My fault. I'm doing 5 million things at once, and I got distracted because...
No worries.
I'm very easily distracted. So go ahead, Sphinx. Please continue.
So I'm playing a mage by the name of Emerus Grant. He is a transplant from the city of New Orleans, but came to Seattle for graduate school, and currently runs a bookstore / tea shop out of the Wallingford neighborhood. And he also lives in a sanctum in the basement of... So I'm playing said bookshop / tea shop. And Penny is also my ward, as well as my apprentice.
The ward and apprentice. So
Yeah, I am the Harry Dresden of this of the city of Seattle, for all intents and purposes.
very literally.
Yeah, literally.
But the good news is that not only is he Harry Dresden, but he also owns the local bookstore. So
You want books? I got books. You want knowledge? I got it.
So if you want to follow Sphinx, we put up his information up in chat for his link tree. He is a content creator as well, like we said. And if you want to give any of these people your love, the best way to show that is to throw them a follow. All we do is create content so you guys can watch it and enjoy it, and just letting us know that you enjoy it by following us is all we really require. But anything else you want to do, of course, we greatly appreciate. But in the meantime, we also have, like I said, speaking of content creators, we have Ivy, who literally is, like Milagros, is one of those people who goes out of their way to be here. She literally drove like 170 miles an hour to get home in time to be here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've heard rumors.
I don't know who's spreading them, but they need to shut their mouths.
Ivy, you were kind of like, you and Sphinx were two of the catalysts for getting this show off the ground. Sphinx and I were talking about the show for a while. We expressed our love for old school White Wolf, and then you heard we were doing Vampire. We're doing World of Darkness, and you were kind of like, you were pretty excited about that concept as well. And you happen to be the only player tonight who's playing an actual vampire.
I'm very excited.
So first off, if you want to follow Ivy's content, I'm going to put her information up in chat as well. But Ivy, why don't you tell us a little bit, number one, about you, of course, and then a little bit about the character you're playing tonight.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Ivy. I'm Gamer the Girl on TikTok, Instagram, etc. I play Mondays over at Dice Cream Sandwich, Wednesdays over at Cauldron Chronicles, and Tuesdays here. And Fridays I'm DMing over on my own channel. Is where you can find me everywhere when I'm not running around doing everything else. Yeah, I'm playing Vera tonight. So I'm playing my lovely vampire, Lasombra. She's great. She's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about her.
And there's no problems with any of the other characters at all right now.
No, there's no tension, no problems.
No tension,
no.
With
There's
being
no
a vampire.
But no, it is the most friendly of relationships.
They're so accepting.
They're so accepting. They're so accepting.
So, and then our other fellow content creator tonight, that once again she went out of her way to be here. Literally came screeching down the hallway, knocked several people out of her way.
Huh? Did we pass each other like we were racing, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, we literally did. Like you were. I got the message that you were like on your way home from work as I was crossing campus and being like, fuck.
Okay, cool. So I did. We probably passed each other somewhere.
So Milagros is a college student busting their ass senior fucking year. And she's just trying to survive, folks, but she's also here to provide you with content. Milagros, number one, would you like to tell us who you are a little bit and tell us who you're playing tonight?
Yes. So most of the content that I've made so far has been on TikTok. I've taken a really, really big hiatus because I'm trying to finish my bachelor's degree right now. I am mostly a writer, but I also have a background in music, and I'm double minoring in psychology and anthropology because I also like to world build and have a lot of mental illness. But I have...
it tastes like chicken.
I'm just being honest. And my main thing that I will be making content about in the future is I mostly refer to it as, snitching on my bachelor's degree. I think that a lot of the information that I've gotten from taking classes should be more accessible. So once I'm out and have the time, I want to teach people how to develop their story ideas and actually, get stories off the ground and create manuscripts and organize their stuff. I love organization way too much. And
you should see some. We have some of her stuff from what's the name of the tool again?
Notion.
We have some of her Notion stuff linked in our chat because she takes notes for all of our games.
Yeah.
My God. Real-time text of talking with everyone denoted who's speaking.
Yep.
While she's role-playing.
Yeah.
It's incredibly insane. So go check out our Discord if you want to see what that looks like. But yes, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had to.
No,
I just had to
you.
Preach the gospel of Milagros on that one. So
one day I really do have to sit down and check what my words per minute is because I don't know.
And find out who the manufacturer of your keyboard is because that thing never makes a damn sound.
Ever. So I am playing. I'm a huge nerd. I am playing a closet nerd who is jock passing. We love her. I'm playing Pandora. She is a big buff werewolf lesbian with anger issues because I heard, werewolves are a thing. Bet lesbian werewolf. And then Ray told me about the Black Furies, and I was like, awesome. Don't know anything about them, but yeah, that thing. I feel like I should say it. This game is significantly older than I am. I just turned 22, so I am literally, this game is older than I am, and I think almost, at least half the people here have been playing longer than I've been able to walk, probably. And so
thanks for calling us all old in one fell swoop.
Listen, I look up to you guys. I think it's awesome that I can turn to you for information because, if I had to wade through all of those books on top of all the stuff I have to do for homework, I would cry. And yeah, so
the last time I played this was before you were born.
Bro.
I think the last time I played this was 2001-ish.
Oh wow, I was turning 2. So, I dumped all my stats into strength and dexterity, and I think brawl because I don't know shit and I don't want the character to know shit because then I'd have to know shit.
And what's worse is she's playing the literal most lethal character here.
Yeah, she doesn't know shit about fucking, neither do I, and I can probably kill the whole party. So it's gonna be
She can
great.
single-handedly TPK everyone.
She is relatively new to Seattle. Because I also don't know anything about Seattle, and I have to read 300 pages a week, so I haven't gotten to do much research. But she's pretty new. She's originally from New York City. and moved to San Francisco with the Furies, but ended up having a bit of, oh no, don't say anything, hold on. She lived in San Francisco for a while with the Furies, and Jonathan's having a stroke right now. And she ended up, like,
You
she was
told her not
hoping,
to say anything.
she lived with them for a few years, and as she's been getting a little bit older, I'm just gonna say she's about my age. There's been some tension because from what I read about the Black Furies, and this might be controversial, I'm not sure, they just seemed a little turfy. A little turfy. And
now that book was published back in the 90s. I do not know if they made any revisions to the tribe since then, but we're going with that as canon right now. So
yeah, but also like Radfem spaces in general tend to fall into a lot of that stuff, whether they intend to or not. And so she kind of, started separating herself and struck out on her own. So she's been in Seattle for like a couple of months, and spends most of her time either working as a personal trainer or otherwise like teaching classes at the gym that she's at, or living basically in Sphinx's character's bookshop, Emery's. She has a designated chair that she picks up and puts in a corner, and she will just hang out there in almost all of her free time. And yeah, she doesn't. She's just kind of at this point just trying to mind her own business and like stay away from people. Also, I should probably like, when I was coming up with a character personality, I was like, I'm gonna make a bitch who is so autistic because I am also autistic and I am starting to learn how to unmask. And I was like, wait, all that stuff was autism. And so yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out. Because she's got, I think her charisma is like actually like 0. Like I didn't even put anything in there. She's great.
It's a
no
1.
Etiquette,
It's a 1. It's a 1. At least a
no
1.
No etiquette. No charisma. Nothing.
So Rosalita's gonna have an aneurysm. Got it.
The first time the Pandora walks up and just belches.
Get out. Get out.
Make me.
No home training. No home training.
No home training. None.
And we do have some people coming back from Dinner and a Game from the past, and that would be Jonathan. Jonathan was with Dinner and a Game when we were just a podcast. When we were just an audio podcast way back in 2018. He is
Before that.
No, it was 2018 is when we started.
2018 is when I started the Facebook page. We had been playing with Boy.
Jonathan, do you remember? Don't remember either?
Well, I would have had to have been probably like around 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was somewhere in that range. But Jonathan is one of the old school Dinner and a Game folks. He has been around for a long time, and he has been doing a lot of traveling, but he is finally in a position now where hopefully he can join us on a regular basis. Jonathan, who are you playing tonight? And if you want to, you can tell us a little bit about you.
All right, so I will be playing Mark. Mark was born and raised in New York City, and then when he had his first change, which happens typically around puberty for the Wereshifters, he ended up getting shipped off to Seattle to a special school, and he stayed there until he was around like 17. The school arranged to send him to San Francisco so he could study with another Simba, which is a specific lion type of a werecat, for a year. That's what the tradition with the werecats. They study under another werecat for a year. Then they're taught 3 secrets, and they are released back like to do their own thing. And the werecats are so rare, they usually don't bump into each other very often. So he went back to Seattle, and that's where he's been ever since. I also frequent a bookstore, and very much like Milagros' character, I also have a favorite chair in that bookstore, but some jerk keeps moving it. And so I have to take it and put it by the window all the time. Because that's so... That's where the chair belongs, is by the window, so you can sit in my comfy chair. Well, I can sit in my
Once
comfy
again,
chair.
she went out of her
You
way
can
to
look
be
out
here.
the window
Literally
while I'm
came
in my
screeching.
comfy chair. But every time I come back, they've moved it again, so I just have to keep moving my chair back to the window.
So there we go.
Fine. Everything is fine.
Small point of
Everything's fine.
contention. Small point of tension.
It belongs
but
in
it's okay.
the corner. You
It's
can
okay.
see everybody in the room from the corner. Corners are cozier.
Okay,
Not
that
the
was
people
my
outside in the window.
Who cares about the people outside? They're not in the store.
I need you to stay out of my corner. I don't need the chairs there. Thank you.
Well, your corner is like unoccupied during the day. So.
Yeah, I don't care. Stay out of my.
Oh no! Oh no!
And lastly, we have the Queen of Dag, my wife, Jessica, who is playing Sunny. Jessica, number one, thank you so much for everything you do. Jessica is the reason that we have the presence we have on Facebook and social media. She goes out of her way every day to find content for our Facebook page and for our Twitter, and she is amazing. She works this like a full-time job, even though all she gets for it is my love. But
coffee.
And coffee,
You give
lots
me
of coffee. I mainline the IV of coffee into
Yeah.
her office. But
It's my blood type. Dunkin' Donuts house blend.
but so can you tell us about who you're playing, and if you'd like, can you tell us about you?
Yes, I can.
Oh, thank you.
I am playing Ms. Sunny Danham. She, her are the pronouns. She is a satyr grump.
And
She's snorted it all, drank it all, smoked it all, been around the block, been to every party. Yeah, I got pictures from Woodstock. That was a shit, yo. It stank like you wouldn't believe, but it was amazing.
and
And now I'm running a school with.
and
where I'm
someone
running
thought
a
it'd be good to
school
leave her with children.
for my mentor. Yeah, my mentor, because I was an orphan, this guy, he was different. I'm not going to say how because I don't want to spread his business. But, you know, he was familiar with my type and a few other types and some other stuff. But, you know, that's what I teach the kids. And, you know, it's a very, it's a special needs school, so to speak. It's a very specialized school for kids that need a certain kind of teacher.
Gotcha. And so what we have, ladies and gentlemen, is we have people playing different. I guess you call them races from White Wolf species.
I
yeah.
usually say like species.
Species, yeah.
Species.
M and Jessica are playing Changelings, which is the Fey contingent from White Wolf. M is playing a she, which is very much kind of your traditional high elf. Normally very noble and regal of bearing.
No.
And Jessica is playing a satyr, which is a Pan, if you will, or a Dionysus. And she is very much, they're very much creatures of passion, whereas she are, well, actually, technically all Fae are creatures of passion.
More dramatic.
Yes, very dramatic. But the she are more caught up in the courtly aspects of Fae life. The Fae still treat themselves as if they are nobility, and they still do things like hold high court and stuff like that. And so the Fae are kind of caught up in that. The Satyrs are more the party animals of the Fae community. If you need to throw a party and you don't know a Satyr, it'll be considered a failure. So, but the Satyrs are very much massively creatures of passion, and so that's what they're playing. Milagros and Jonathan are playing members of the changing breeds. Pandora is a werewolf. She is of the tribe of werewolves called the Black Furies, which are actually a tribe of werewolves which are, number one, they're all female. The Black Furies do not accept any males into their tribe except for one. and those are metis werewolves, which are werewolves that are born with some form of deformity, and they're the only time that the Black Furies have ever accepted males. The Black Furies are also followers of Diana, Artemis, or basically any type of empowering feminine figure. And they basically have a long history of defending women and women's rights. And so, and she is, of course, able to turn into a giant killing machine. Especially if she's angry. And Jonathan,
time of the month, don't fuck with her.
And Jonathan is playing a actual were-lion called a Simba, and they are of the changing breed species known as the Bastet, which are a number of different types of were-cats. And Jonathan's playing the were-lion, and Bastet are all kind of unique and individualistic, but the were-lions do tend to see themselves as the rulers of the Bastet, as it were. But your guy's kind of young, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he hasn't hit that full stride yet, where he thinks he needs to be the boss. And then Sphinx is playing a mage, which is pretty much a normal human for the most part, except that they have had what's called an awakening and discovered that the strength of the human will is powerful enough to actually alter reality. And so with that, he has discovered that he can do things from do the traditional and throw out that fireball all the way over to possibly taking control of electronics using magic and manipulating things around him without ever actually touching them, and all the way over to like extending his life well beyond his natural years or changing his physical appearance. And then Ivy is playing our vampire contingent. You're playing Clan La Sombra, correct? Whereas vampires are the stuff of Dark Legends, La Sombra are the stuff of Vampires Dark Legends. The La Sombra are a clan of vampires that are known for their ability to manipulate shadow and to be able to be very manipulative, clandestine, and have a very strong will. They consider themselves to be the upper echelon of vampiric society. So, that's kind of the rundown for the lot. My name is Ray, and I'm going to be the storyteller who is going to be basically kind of refereeing all this madness. And like I said earlier, what we're doing tonight is we're going to be doing what's called a session zero.
Already.
And so
preview points. That was a picture.
She got her freebie points for a picture. But so what we're doing with this session zero is we've kind of made Emery's bookstore almost like home base, as it were. Everyone seems to have a reason to be here. The bookstore itself is also your residence, right?
Yeah, I live in the sanctuary in the
basement. Penny lives there too.
Yep.
Okay. And it's a Victorian house, a decent sized Victorian house. I'm sorry, what was the name of the neighborhood again?
Wallingford.
Wellingford. In the Wellingford neighborhood in Seattle, which is in central Seattle. And it is a well-known bookstore and a lesser well-known occult bookshop for actual practitioners. With Sphinx actually having, with Emrys actually having a very well-stocked occult library in the basement area, which is actually also his conjuring room and practice in his studio. Penny is she your apprentice?
She is my apprentice, yeah.
She's your apprentice. And she also works for Rosalind. And Rosaline. I'm going to get that down. Rosaline.
Yeah.
Rosaline.
This is very in character. I will be eating out of cans. Really quick.
She brings cans.
I'm going to be eating out of my can. It's the most efficient.
If it doesn't have a pull tab, she has one of those U.S. Army issued can openers that just a little...
Yep. Please.
I already have a bottle opener ring. So.
Nice.
What?
So we've established some relationships and inner party dynamics already. So what I was going to do is I was going to kind of set a scene for you all. It is early evening, well beyond dusk. Everyone is in the bookshop. Or actually in the bookshop or on your way to the bookshop. You can tell me what time you normally get to the bookshop. Emery's, because of your relationship with Rota, what is the hours of operation for the bookshop? Because normally the bookshop's closed by like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I would say...
but it's also a tea house, right?
It's a tea shop too, yeah. And because of that, I would say I would probably have the bookstore. The tea shop would probably close at around 8-ish, but the bookshop itself would stay open until around like 11:30, maybe midnight.
If she goes to my school, I can be bringing her home at the end of the day.
I do not think she would actually go to your school. She could be hundreds of years old.
Yeah, there's a lot of things hundreds of years old at my school, especially Greg.
Yes, well, but so we can talk to Ivy about that when later.
Oh yeah.
But what I was asking, the reason I was asking that is because I figured you might have extended that, so because you two are friends. So Milagros, sorry. Pandora is normally, you said she camps out a lot at the bookstore. What is her normal, like, just drags the chair into the corner, gets a tea, and goes and sits there and just peruses whatever books she pulls off the shelves, or?
Yeah, a lot of the time she'll come with a list of either, like, topics or books that she's already checked to see if they would be there. Or she's seen them before and writes them down. And yeah, she usually comes in like evenings because she has a day job. And like she'll come like 7 p.m. because like the tea shop closes around 8. And then just stays until like she is literally kicked out. Yeah.
Treats it basically like a personal library, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
And she does buy stuff from there a lot. Like if she really does like something or she hasn't finished something, she will buy it. But she just also likes being there a lot.
So where does Pandora keep her digs? I mean, we already kind of established that she probably is a member of a local pack, but just in the fact that you're in that pack's territory, so you came by and said, hey, I'm in town, I have to join a pack because we're werewolves, so I'd like to join your pack, but if you don't really need me around, I'll just go do my own thing.
Yeah, that's very much how she's handling, like, especially since, like, she hasn't been doing the best in her relationship with the Furies. Like, that was a big blow.
Yeah.
So she's trying not to be super interdependent. But the pack in the area knows of her. And,
do you want to make up the pack yourself? Like, we can do it, like, kind of tentatively do it right now. Do you want to have any idea, concept, what the pack's like?
I don't really have one right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was also thinking maybe instead of being like a primary or whatever the middle line is, school, maybe mine would be older children, young adults.
That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah,
what I was
like-
also thinking with the school was that it doesn't matter. It's not really an age-based education system because you're dealing with almost all supernaturals.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
what,
like,
and
yeah.
teaching supernaturals how to deal with, like you said earlier, when they go through the change, like, where the change is different than,
Yeah.
puberty. It's
Yeah.
a different kind of talk that we have in high school.
Well, the big thing about it is that it's not just the fact about the wares or the changelings or mages awakening. It's more about the fact that everyone there is going to have different aspects they need to learn.
Yeah.
Like changelings need to learn how to manipulate glamour and use the magics that they have. Mages need to learn to control the magic because it can also often get away from them initially. And then werewolves, of course, when you awaken to that much rage all at once, it can be very rough.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of that going on, and because of that, and because of the dynamic nature of the school, you don't have a lot of good, strong concepts for in classroom stuff. A lot of it is like, people just trying their best to get these kids some kind of education.
And learning how to control their abilities or their different arts or blood rights. I'm trying to think of all of the different things they're called. Backgrounds,
Yeah.
all the different, pretty much learning how to control your shit.
Yeah, and you basically have people there to try and teach them. Like you have a werewolf kinfolk there who is there to try and help out the people from the changing breeds. You have another fae of some kind probably there, or maybe even a very maybe even George helps out with instructions for the changelings because he is an incredibly powerful chimera, which is a supernatural creature that is of the fae world.
I think you're talking about Greg. But
Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Greg. I thought it was George. Sorry, George is behind me on the bookshelf, on the mantle. But Greg happens to be kind of like George, and that is that Greg is a giant dragon that sleeps on top of the school.
Yeah.
Nice. Here for the dragons.
But anyway, back to what I was talking
Pay
about.
for the free food.
Yeah, but what I was talking about with Pandora is that Pandora. What I was saying with Pandora's pack is I'm sure there's several packs in the Seattle area. Seattle is like 125 miles long. Seattle, Tacoma. It's like 125 miles long along the coast and only like 25 miles wide. It's like this narrow strip of humanity trapped between the coast and the mountains. And so it is really dense urban population in a narrow field, but then strung out like a piece of spaghetti along the coast.
Yep.
So because of that, going east to west is no big deal, but going north to south, you can drive all frickin' day. You know what I mean? So what I was going to say about that is there's probably lots, and because there's a lot of wilderness and wildlife area around Seattle, there are probably multiple werewolf packs. And packs would basically have requirements for joining. They would basically be like, you have to do this or do that and do this. And we're kind of running this as you've already established yourself with the pack. So what I'm going to assume is you probably would have found a pack that had close to your sensibilities. You wouldn't want to run with a pack that is going to basically give you the same situation you had with the Furies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and say that the pack you joined is probably going to be more or less an urban pack, a pack more centered in the city, and it's going to be more of a pack that is the pack alpha is more freeform. They do understand the werewolf traditions and the rights and everything like that, but they also do not try and grind it in, and they let the pack be individuals rather than just be another aspect of the pack instead of and they also make sure that the pack supports each other as best they can, but in times of trial they have no problem falling back to I'm the alpha and you do what I say or I beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, that's easy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll come up with the actual pack members. If you want me to, I can do it, and I can submit them to you, and then you can give me feedback on them. Or if you have, because I know you're pressed for time. So
Well, actually, I have the long weekend coming up, and I'm planning on doing a lot of stuff for that.
Perfect.
I'm gonna have the time.
Okay, cool, no problem. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I don't want to take your story. I mean, yeah. All right, so we got kind of a good basis and background for that going forward. So we'll have that context for it. The reason I asked that is because I want to make sure that because werewolves, out of all these types, except for vampires, werewolves have the closest social connection with others of their kind, and have the most, I guess, obligation to others of their kind, and will be called upon by others of their kind the most. So, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're going to be pretty much getting called by the pack to do things quite often. And they don't want you bringing your weird friends.
Who you calling weird?
Never you.
You have a
I
friend.
was gonna say
Never you!
I was like, who you calling friends?
Well, I don't know whether you would have even told them that you actually know and hang out with, even incidentally, a vampire.
Have
Probably
to
not.
occasionally be in the same room as one.
Well, the-
Awful.
Urban
No,
werewolves.
don't tell them yet. I want to be there when you tell them.
Urban werewolves do understand that they live in the same vicinity as vampires. And because they don't want to constantly be in a state of warfare, there is a, kind of general truce unless the vampires or the werewolves overstep their bounds. Like, oops, the Bruja and the Get Fenris showed up at the same bar and 3,000 people died. That type of thing. So, but it is definitely a situation where they try their best to avoid each other, understanding that a lot of times they can't.
Yeah.
Or in the case of some more unruly werewolves and some more rambunctious vampires, won't. But they do their best to kind of avoid each other. But it still is kind of... hanging out with a vampire is not exactly seen in the best light. So, all that being said, that is, I think if you establish that pack and make it kind of along those lines, it will help you out with the whole being available to help out everyone else as much as you're willing to. All right, so Emrys, your shop is... We've also kind of established your shop is a central location for lots of people who are within the supernatural community to come, because you are, in the supernatural community, you're a known commodity, aren't you?
I am. I am also so on top of being a bookshop and tea shop owner, I am a PI who basically solicits exclusively to the supernatural community.
There you go. And so you actually do investigations for creatures of supernatural nature. That dog...
Would you like me to go and lock the door?
No, I wanted to be quiet. Go tell him to get in the bed. He likes that. So anyway, the basic breakdown for that process, that portion of your life. Have you done a lot of stuff in the supernatural community that way?
I uploaded my backstory to the Discord a little bit ago, and it started with while I was in grad school, just kind of meeting a bunch of other grad students within the supernatural community who were either of the different social circles within the community or were outcasts. Particularly, outcasts started going missing, and I kind of discovered my talent for investigation through using my abilities to search for them. No one else seemed to give a shit. So I was like, you know what? No one else cares. I'm gonna care, and wound up using the reward money for a lot of those cases and investigations to get some supplementary schooling and actually get myself a PI license. So that when I do turn up in places, I have a legitimate, I'm here working a case, I have credentials. No, you can't kick me out. I mean, you could, but I could come back.
So, you've done a number of jobs for different people. Here's a really good question for that. Where does Emery's draw the line? What type of cases will he not take?
Oh, it's not so much of what he will not take yet. I don't know that Emerson has come across anything quite like that. His focus usually is on missing persons. He will not take if there is one that he will not do, it will probably be item retrieval, just because there's a lot of blurry lines there as to like whom the item actually belongs to and why. And Emrys is also of the mindset of if there's a magical item. If the item is in fact a magical item and it is too dangerous for anyone to have, then no one's getting it.
Gotcha. Understood that. All right. So, one quick thing. I don't know if we have. I'm looking through your background real fast because we just got it. You didn't really cover. Oh, did you? How? Let's do this one real quick. Have you guys, Ivy? Have you and Sphinx gotten to talk about how Rota and Emery's met or became bestest friends?
We have not.
Rota's her last name. Vera is her first name.
Oh, Vera's the first name. Let me fix
Vera's
that.
the first name.
I had to fix that. But anyway, so do you guys have any concepts that you want to go over with that? Any ideas?
I mean, she's been here for 8 years. She hasn't been here a whole while, so.
I'd say you've probably been there longer than I have.
Fair enough. That's still...
And it's really easy for vampires to kind of lose track of time that way. You know?
Oh, yeah. She did.
You know, 8 years. 8 years is like I took a nap.
I had a concept that I really, really liked. And if I found this via Tumblr, so that's showing my age already. So the concept I found was that these two people meet. One of them is a vampire and tries to feed on the other. And possibly because I am a mage, my blood maybe tastes funny. And maybe you think that, like, on account of that I am anemic, and so you spend a ton of time like sending me like supplements and foods to kind of boost my blood so that I taste better. And I'm just like, what are you doing? How did you find my house? Like, what? Like, and like over time, it's become less like you trying to make my blood taste better to how much can I make him annoyed to. Well, you're not annoyed anymore. I guess we're friends now?
It's annoyance to friendship. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw enemies to lover trope. We want annoyance to friendship.
That's such a good trope.
You're doing the whole. He's like, I saw you moving those boxes of books in the other day, and you kind of were struggling the other night when you got that shipment in late. You put the big thing of creatine powder. You want to start working out a little bit,
That's not my thing. That's not my thing. I can just, and I'll just like use telekinesis. Like, there it is. It's done. That's my thing.
Here, I got you this pre-workout. I don't know what it does, but here you go.
I take vitamins. I pull out this big ass like thing like gummy vitamins that I got from Costco.
No, but try these. These are better. No. These ones are so much better.
You have the Costco thing.
Fun for my gym. You definitely need some help.
No. These taste better. Really.
Yeah, you have the big thing from Costco. She has the GNC premiums. All right.
But it tastes like chalk. Oh, I hate it.
No, it's not that bad. You're just being dramatic.
You just want my blood to taste better. Whatever.
Oh, that's one thing I was going to ask. Are you a source for her?
If she absolutely needs it. I kind of feel we share that like dynamic. Like she's a source for me, I'm a source for her, but only at like dire straits.
Yeah, that's very correct for me.
Yeah, because vampires do not let their blood go easily. It is definitely something that they do not want other people to get a hold of because of its mystic nature. It can be used in certain rituals and rites on them.
Very desperate measures.
Yeah.
With like an unspoken understanding.
Yeah, we've developed that trust that like it's unspoken, but it's also kind of like, hey, I'm in a shit situation. No, I got you.
It's like you don't have to ask. I already know. I got you.
Yeah. So, all right, so you guys have been friends for probably at least 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so
Honestly, if you went vegan, it would taste even better. I'm just saying.
No.
I like fish entirely too much, though. The sushi restaurants here are to die for.
Yeah, but the carbs are gonna taste like shit for her.
They're not great, no.
Fatty
Yeah,
acids,
they're not
Kelly,
great.
fatty
Carbs taste bad?
acids.
Oh shit. Okay. I need to hold on.
So,
Bet. Thank you.
so Jonathan, Mark is pretty well established here now, and we kind of established that he is known in the changeling community because of his nature. Did Jonathan freeze for anyone else?
I think he did.
Yeah, he's frozen. Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
It's karma for stealing my chair. Oh fuck.
Karma for stealing my chair.
I kind of feel like you're borrowing my chair.
And everyone ignores the fact that it's actually Emery's chair. There you go.
I own the chair. It's in my house.
That's why I just took a corner.
Does the bookstore have hardwood floors, carpet? Like, what's the flooring situation there?
It's hardwood.
You can nail a chair into the floor.
You think I can't pull up some nails?
You might get kicked out when you pull up the hardwood floors.
Yeah, not doing that. Like I've had to repair this place one time too many as it is. Like we're not doing that. We're
Look,
not.
you get bloodstains on the carpet once. I'm sorry.
Like you know how hard blood is to get
Yes.
out of mahogany.
I tried to. Okay, it was an accident.
It was an accident. She
Sorry.
swears.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you need pineapple juice to fix that. It's a pain in the ass, but yeah.
All right, sorry, we got derailed. That's I apologize, Ray.
No. I was just saying, you're part of the fake. You're part of the fake community. We kind of established that the local, the Duke, who is the ruler of the Seattle SeaTac area, and he reports directly back to the King and Queen in San Francisco. He basically has invited you to multiple court gatherings. And
Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
Is David the High King still missing, or has he returned? Where are we
He
in
would have
the...
returned.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, Dafydd is back. So yes, so you would have been invited there several times. What aspects of yourself are known to the Fae?
Well, they can see my seeming, so I clearly am wearing like chainmail armor with like night vestments on it, which is obvious to anyone in here that's Fae or has an ability that allows them to see into like Fae seemings. So that would include you if like Emrys, if you have the right spheres to be able to see into that.
What sphere would that require? Would that be like
You make arguments for Spirit and Prime probably as a combo, because Prime usually sees like the auras of things.
I've got 2 in Prime, so I have none in Spirit as of right now.
You can probably tell that he has. It's not an active thing. If you get like 1 point in Spirit, you can probably actively see seemings. But without that point of Spirit, you can just you know that he's supernatural. He gives off his aura, shines through with that. It's just that and actually his aura, because he has a seeming, is almost iridescent.
Ah,
so
he's got something going on.
And since you have 2 other Fae that you recognize that aura. But he also has that red tinged aura of a shifter. So he is it's a very big conundrum as to what he actually is.
It's like, you are complicated is what you are.
No, he is Mark. That's all there is to it.
So
I'm the customer that keeps moving the chair back to the bay window where it belongs.
We're not gonna have a fight about where the chair belongs. We'll be here all night with the chair.
You can no longer see the chair.
As long as you all move the chair eventually back to where it goes. Otherwise, I just have to take the chair away altogether. The chair will go back downstairs. It'll be in my sanctuary. I don't want to have this fight.
I mean, you don't want to have the fight, but they're not actually fighting right now.
That's true.
And seriously,
No fighting over the chair.
So you guys are, so what I was trying to get to with that is, I was wondering what you were doing over there.
Sure, I made him sparkly so it's accurate.
More accurate. So yeah, so the basically, that's what I'm trying to get at, Jonathan. Though, was how much about you is an enigma to the changeling community. Because they see you're seeming, but they also know you're not a changeling. And I'm assuming they know that you're some kind of shifter.
I would prefer to keep as much of the mystery alive as I can, because that makes you more enticing to them. Like, you're more likely to be able to get into the good information or the good parties, because you know what I mean? Like, there's still some mystery there.
And I was assuming you don't go to every single invite either.
No, because if you go to everything, like, I don't know, you got to play that game of, like, knowing which parties to probably go to and which ones not to, so you don't upset anybody, but at the same time, like, you're not just everywhere all the time.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out too quickly.
Since I've been around you since you were smaller, you could just be my ward. And with that kind of title, what?
He's too old for that.
Well, I don't know how long I've known him for.
Well, what you're saying is he could have been your ward. He's an adult now.
Well, yeah.
So my character is like 20. I've been out of the school since probably I turned 18. My 17 to 18-year-old year, I would have been in San Francisco, not at the school. I don't know how long you've been back at the school, but I basically haven't been on campus for 3 years, unless I came back to visit.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What was and you were sent there from New York, correct? That's where you were sent to that school from New York?
Yeah, correct. So I was sent there around like 13.
Gotcha. So you were there for a number of years. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us over to Sunny a little bit. Sunny, you established that you run this school. You were bequeathed the school because you were raised there, yes?
Yeah.
And so you're one of the few people who's established here as someone from Seattle. Not that you got out to go out a lot, because you were at the school and you're trying to learn what your Fey nature was. But you went through your childing and wilder phases as a Fey, as a student at the school and participating in the local court of the local duke. And you went through all that. And then literally, did you go to college? No, I didn't think so. All right. Well, I mean, you were you were wrapped up in Fey culture so much, I didn't think that the mortal aspects was going to be much of a draw for you.
No,
Brian, wake up. I'll never.
What was that? It's an ambulance.
I have no idea. What was
But
it?
no, I don't know. But anyway, so they basically have a bunch of kids there at all times, all different aspects. So you have to have a lot of different people there to try and give them instruction as best you can. So that's one of the things that brought you back, is you were brought back when they had a large number of changeling children there, and you were asked to kind of like show them the ropes, walk them through things, and for that you were given a place to stay. When you weren't at the school, what were you doing? Were you mainly just interacting with Fey Court, or were you actually like trying to live a human life as well?
No, once I awakened, or once I realized who and what I was, human can kiss my ass.
You just totally abandoned it?
Yeah.
Do you have any background or history for what your life was like before you? When did you exactly awaken to your Fey nature? And what was your life like as a human without the Fey aspect?
I'm going to say I woke to it at a fairly young age.
Okay, so you woke as a childling.
Yeah, I woke as a childling in the system. There's lots of kids in the system. Anytime there's gonna be carried my stuff around in black trash bags to and from houses. Hate dorm rooms. Hate the state. Fuck that shit. I couldn't have been happier when I found my Fey nature.
Gotcha. And then through your Fey nature, you kind of ended up right back into school.
Yeah, that's not quite where I thought that was going.
But you also met people who are like you, or at least had more in common with you.
Yeah.
And so, do you participate a lot in courtly functions?
As little as humanly possible.
Or as fairly possible?
Yeah.
All right. So, but you do have to go. Okay. All right. No problem. I'm just trying to get a feel for the scale of the two phase interactions with court. And from what I can see, the general consensus is fuck it. So, speaking of court, let's jump over to Ivy and Vera. So, Vera is a vampire, and vampires, like the Fae, they like their politics, they like their social etiquette, and you are a member of the vampires that consider themselves part of something called the Sabbat. The Sabbat are vampires who think that humans really are food. They don't even look at them as a resource for new vampires. First and foremost, humans are food. Excuse me. So because of that, they look down with disdain upon humanity in general, including the humanity within themselves. So they do go out of their way to try and discover ways to lift themselves up above what they consider to be the levels of human interaction. How is Vera on that concept? Because she hangs out with a lot of people who are still, as the other vampires would see it, who are still mortal.
Right. She struggles to find the difference, like the balance between the debt that she owes to the Sombra now and the humanity that she also once was a part of. So she kind of has a weird viewpoint of, but I used to be that, but now I'm not that. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a weird, hard balance for her to find that she's still trying to figure out.
So she's trying to make sure that she has paid her due respects to the people that kind of saved her.
Correct.
While at the same time, she hasn't abandoned her overall humanity.
Correct.
Okay. And there are plenty of vampires in the Sabbat who do not give up their humanity and try and maintain it for as long as possible. The Sabbat, one thing about the Sabbat that is different is that they're very much individualists. Although each clan does have ideologies they want their clan to represent and hold to, they also, as members of the Sabbat, allow them to pursue their own goals and endeavors. Also, as members of the Sabbat, you are pretty much at war with another group of vampires called the Camarilla. The Sabbat recently went through some very big losses to the Camarilla, and it got to the point where even some aspects of the Sabbat left the Sabbat and joined the Camarilla because they felt that it was a losing cause, which includes lots of members of the Sombra clan, actually. So there, that's something I should have brought up. Or when you were making your character, did you make your character as Sabbat or as Cam? And did you even think about that yet?
Look at it. I didn't think about it.
So there's a chance to go either way. We don't have to decide that just yet. But from the way you seem to want to play a character and from its interactions with all these other people, it does seem more like you might be more Camarilla aligned than Sabbat aligned.
Okay.
But we can review that later. What I was going to ask you is, what I got a chance to look at your backstory when you posted up earlier. What is your interaction? What are your main interactions like with other vampires?
She very much is. She knows where her loyalties lie, which is with the vampires. She understands. She put herself in this position. She kind of chose this life. So she very much knows where her loyalties lie, and remains dutiful to that, while also trying to at least retain a little bit of what she used to be, but maybe a little more rebellious than what she was.
So she's she holds the line on her own. She has loyalty to them. Does she participate in a lot of stuff when there's like a call for you all to come and participate in some kind of event within vampiric society?
If she's called upon to pay her due respects, then she'll go.
And one of the things you said in your background is that you literally kind of went looking for, I guess you'd say, an alternate lifestyle from the one you had, and you found you found a major one in the fact that you pretty much ran into a vampire.
Yeah, and she saw it out.
Yeah, and how what were you before you became a vampire?
Human.
But what did you do?
She's the next nun.
She was a nun.
Yeah.
What time period?
Well, she has the fucking thing. She was a fucking nun.
Vera is an ex-nun. I say ex loosely, as she still wears a very black, darkened rosary. But she was an ex-nun who decided she did not quite like the lifestyle she was living and kind of faced some consequences and went searching instead for something else. And found it.
Kind of went the polar opposite.
Yeah. She knows what she was doing.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm curious as to what these consequences are.
Well,
or were.
She changed her habit into the warrior nun outfit.
She literally tore, because it would have been 1920s-esque, she literally tore her habit at the knee. She slid it across the knees and dropped the hat and picked up a blackened rosary and called it good.
And called it good. And then wore that for the next 70 years.
Yep.
So you're roughly a little over 100 years old.
Yes.
How old was Vera when she was turned?
20, 21.
I was named after that character on a soap opera. I kid you not.
Yeah, 21.
So
she went directly in the day after her 18th birthday.
So Vera's she was embraced, but what happened with her and her sire after she was created?
I kind of left that up to DM discretion, as if she's still paying those dues, if that individual is still around, which we can visit about if you'd like.
Sure. One of the things about sires is, well, one of the things I would like to know about that from your point of view, first off, though, is what type of relationship do you want with your sire? Do you want it to be a positive relationship or a negative relationship? I mean, you said you kind of sought out.
I think in a way it would have to be a little bit of both, because she did go looking for it. So I think someone could have used that to their advantage and been manipulative. But she stuck around for a reason, so...
All right. So, and she's been in Seattle for 8 years. She came to Seattle on a whim, or
either on a whim or she was sent there for reasons that haven't been discussed yet.
Okay. So you're basically you will take tasks given to you by your clan.
Yes.
and possibly even your sire, if you still feel, or if he still holds some kind of debt or weight over you.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we've gotten a lot accomplished, I think, because we've cleared up some things, and we've gotten some angry faces drawn, which is always good.
It doesn't even look like me.
It doesn't look like me either.
So what I'd like to do is take a 10-minute break so I can go refill my drink because my throat's drying out, and give everyone a few moments to also get their things taken care of, and we will come back at 9 o'clock. Look, you have long hair now.
It doesn't even look like me.
It looks like me.
It's not a good depiction.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Need
You
more
gave her
eyeliner?
eyelashes? Is that what that was? You just gave her
Yeah.
eyelashes?
No, give her more eyeliner.
I was like, come on, let's do my makeup
You,
right.
you forgot the wings. You didn't.
Yeah,
you didn't
you
wing it
forgot
out.
That's the wing liner. How dare you?
So we'll be back in 10 minutes. That'll be at
That's better.
9:03.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be right back, guys.
Penguins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you very much for allowing us to take that minor break as we got drinks, we got snacks, and Pandora got a voice. So, let's go ahead and do a little thing right now. It is a typical evening at these... Oh, Emery's. I almost forgot to ask. Did you put in your background, what is the name of the bookshop?
It's called The Couch and the Quill, and it is in the background.
Oh, yeah, I thought so. Well, I haven't gotten to actually read the background itself. I just want to make sure I have that noted. Because you just sent it out. So,
Yes.
The Couch and the Quill. Hang on one second. I'm getting my notes out real fast. I don't type nearly as fast as Milagros does. All right. So it's a typical evening at The Couch and the Quill. It is later in the evening. Like I said, well after dark. The usual culprits are in the house. You have your late evening regulars, which includes people who come in after work to get the last spot of tea before they have to wind home from work. It also includes some of the people from the local occult community who come in to browse the wares later in the evening when not as many as the touristy regulars are in the shop. And there's also a large number of people who are not people anymore. And amongst that crowd, Pandora, you are in your usual seat. What would Pandora be researching this evening?
Well, right now, you know what? Right now I'm on a botany kick because of this like really interesting person in a fiction class I'm in who's written a lot about like how fungi are part of like communication networks in forests and across these really vast distances. And I'm halfway through watching this Netflix documentary on that. So she's probably reading up on like different kinds of like fungus, probably like local, because she's probably going to end up going out into the woods and trying to find some stuff on her own. And so she's got like a little pile because once she sits down, she doesn't want to get up.
Gotcha. And what is your choice blend for the evening?
I'm going to go with a London Fog.
Gotcha.
I like those a lot.
So, Emery's, you're, as usual, kind of walking the store.
Yep.
You don't really tend the register. You don't stock anymore. You've got employees who do that. The store does fairly well. It has a strong clientele of regulars who just love the atmosphere and this feel. It actually is fairly trendy in the local scene. There's been you've actually had some like book signings here from different authors who've come through town. And a couple of readings because this is actually a house, and like most of the upper floors are probably used for storage, but the lower levels, the kitchen of course was converted over into the tea shop, but everything else is either floor space for sale space, or there is in one of the front rooms with the front room with the bay window. You actually had the floor raised there by like 6 inches, and there's a podium set up there, so you can have authors can come do readings. Some community groups rent it out for like poetry nights and stuff like that. There's all kinds of things. So you become kind of not really a community center, but kind of like just a little functional arm of the entire this entire community in this local area.
Sweet.
So it's
Local
very,
watering hole?
huh?
Local,
they don't
not
say-
alcoholic.
Yeah,
watering
not alcohol.
hole?
I guess you could say that, but it's become more of a a lot of people who shop there know each other. There's a lot of book clubs that come in and meet here and stuff like that. So it functions really well for the community itself. Because of that, you really notice when things are off, and it kind of throws out signals that the night is unusual. That's one thing I also wanted to ask you. Because you're still limited on spheres that you have access to, you probably would have had to get a cabal to come and help you actually make wards for this place. So I'm assuming that you wouldn't have been wanted to get committed down to the amount of resources you would have needed to get some serious warding done. So
Not yet, no.
Yeah, so this is probably mainly wards based around detection of things coming through, and just trying to make sure you know who's coming and going. You don't really have anything to stop anyone yet.
Yeah.
But you do try and keep tabs on everyone coming and going in and out of the shop. So, and I'll say you can do that because we're doing a little more experienced characters. That's not going to cost you anything. All it does is it lets you know that, hey, there is a supernatural creature who's crossed the boundaries and of the wards, and it doesn't give you anything much more than that. But it does alert you that there's someone here who's not one of the supernaturals I know who's in here, and they're basically in my shop, so I should probably keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
So tonight, Pandora, you've been sitting around for hours. Sunny, you are here because you have a new pupil at the school who you think may not just be a changeling, but may have some other issues, and you're not really sure what to do because they're not interacting well with the other students. They're not getting along as well. And you do have a counselor on staff. But as with all situations like this, if the person getting counseling is not taking to the counselor, no matter what you do, there's not going to be a lot of hope there. And the counselor has recommended that maybe we seek some outside help, but there's not a lot you can do for supernatural counseling. And one of the things you do know is that Emery's has a lot of connections through his PI business with a lot of people, and he may be a source of information because this kid is there. Number one, it's especially important to you because they're a childling satyr. But number two, unlike other satyrs who are normally running the halls, you have to calm them down. You have to, remind them that they can't be screaming at 2 a.m. That type of thing. This satyr barely speaks, barely interacts with anyone else. They don't seem to be as, and they're wilder. No, they're wilder childling. They're about 17, 18 years old.
Age.
Yeah. So they're 17, 18
Not
years old.
quite a man, but not a child.
Yeah, and you haven't been able to determine their actual age. They have no ID, and everything like that. But they don't exhibit any of the traits of a satyr. And their seeming, though, is very strong. They don't seem to be disconnected from their fey nature. They just seem to be very disconnected from their joy. And like I said, the counselor is fairly sure there's some trauma that needs to be unraveled, but they won't open up. They were hoping they would open up to you, but they haven't shown any inkling of talking to really anyone at the school, except for the only person they've ever spoken to at any great length was a Sluagh, who is actually a senior and getting ready to go out on their own. Her name is Jacqueline, and she basically, when you actually kind of talk to her about it, she just said that they just said hi and they sat at their table for a while. They asked them about what they were drawing, and Jacqueline's, she is the atypical Sluagh, or typical Sluagh, I should say. She draws pictures of the macabre. She loves dark artwork. Is constantly sketching, but unfortunately, because she's a Sluagh, sometimes the sketches come to life. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, but they really like what she was drawing. She showed you what she was drawing at the time, and she was doing a series on the famous slasher films characters, and it was basically Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and she was doing her own interpretations of them, and they were really fascinated by it. But that was basically all they really wanted to talk about. They're asking a lot of questions about it, and but that's the only person that they really reached out to or opened up to. And so you're trying to find someone, you're trying to find a way to get this person help. And so you're in the store to talk to Emery's, I should say. Rosaline. Damn it!
Rosaline.
I hate that name. Rosaline. Rosaline.
Rosa.
I know. But you know what? Never mind. I was going to say, you know what is bad about it is because I freaking read too many of those stupid books. Oh. the Roseline?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
Also, what day of the week?
Tuesday.
So the shop would be closed.
Huh?
So the shop would be closed. She's closed on Tuesdays.
Oh, okay. So you are here. You are here honestly because you were doing everything was going perfect. You were on Facebook. You had put up a post. People had liked it. Things were going well. And then you got up and you went to go print out this paperwork for your business, for your work, for invoices for your latest shipments that are coming in for the gallery, and it couldn't find the print drivers.
You think she would know how to do any of that?
Oh, she's that's what I'm saying. Everything was going well. You managed to post something to Facebook. Everything was going really well. And then, you went to print something and you couldn't find the print drivers. You didn't really know what a print driver was. You tried to make it find the print drivers, and from at that point on, next thing you know, you had this big blue screen in front of you, and some WinX exception error, and you don't know. So now you're coming into the shop, you're holding your laptop in your hand, it's got the blue screen of death on it. You got your cell phone on the other hand, you've been trying to text Penny, she hasn't been responding to the texts, and you're kind of getting into a panic because the invoices are due, the shipment's due in the morning, you don't have the invoices, you can't leave them for the morning clerk to come check in the shipment, and it's, you're getting kind of desperate because, like, this is like, and also you have that whole thing in the back of your head of this is the 1,000th time this has happened.
Yeah.
And Penny is not going to be happy because she literally clocked out 3 hours ago to go home.
Yeah.
And now, you followed her home. So
No, Penny just walks in. Penny. Alfred drove her there.
So, Mark, you are pretty much doing that thing where you come into a place and you're just trying to observe as many people as possible. How long you been in town, Mark? A year, you said? That's you, Jonathan.
I've been back in town for
2 years. That's right.
2.
So
did I freeze again?
No, you're okay. You're kind of choppy, but you're not
froze
frozen
again,
yet.
didn't I?
No. Can you hear us?
You're a little choppy.
It's a little choppy. But can you hear us?
I can hear you all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a little choppy, a little pixely.
Little choppy, a little pixely. But no, so you basically you have a. Okay, actually, let me ask you a question. Why do you come to the bookshop other than to pick fights with Pandora?
I actually don't pick a fight with Pandora. I've never confronted Pandora about the chair. I just know I put it back there. But I like to see what's going on. I like to listen to people's conversations. I like to find out what's going on. This seems to be like a supernatural hub, and you can pick up a lot of stuff if you just you're quiet and you pay attention, you don't cause problems, which is why I don't pick a fight with Pandora, because I don't want to cause problems where I'm getting some good dirt.
All right, so you're in the shop once again, spending an evening. You
I will not make out with Pandora.
Huh? You broke up really bad there.
Yeah, your bars are like in the red.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey,
an
Fox.
outright confrontation with Pandora.
Okay, gotcha. No outright confrontation with Pandora. No knockdown, drag out, bloody death fight in the middle of the bookstore.
Well, I
Please.
wouldn't do it. Like, she wouldn't do it in the bookstore because that might hurt the books.
Just out in the parking lot.
Oh, absolutely out in the park.
But there is a really big bay window you could probably throw him through that he miss all the books and go into the parking lot.
Yeah,
If you break my windows, you're paying for it.
I will pay for it happily. Yes.
Oh
Gotcha.
my God.
Oh, sorry, Foxrider. Yeah, we're testing. This is just a little session 0, and I am testing out Facebook and YouTube and seeing how things go and how smoothly things go over there. So, and thank you for joining us on YouTube, Fox. We really appreciate it.
Fox.
Hi, Fox.
So you're doing your usual then. You're in here and you're kind of scoping things out. You're listening to the crowd as they come through. And Vera, you are up here. Pretty much because you're avoiding everyone else. You haven't had a lot of work you haven't been given a lot of assignments by the Sombra clan. And you have a coterie of vampires you started to associate yourself with to keep your kind of hand in vampiric society. But they haven't, you kind of keep them at arm's length, letting them know that, you're there to help out if needed. And, but you're, as with a lot of kindred, you are very much an individual first.
I'm a little bit aloof.
Yeah, well, you all are. And kindred usually don't really. They have friendships with each other, but those things take like generations to form and be strong. So you have a lot of time left before you really feel comfortable. Well, being comfortable with these other vampires, because you only been in the city for, like I said, in your terms, a very short period of time, 8 years.
Right.
And yes, it is. Well, it's actually World of Darkness, Fox Rider. So it's Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf, Bastet, Mage, and Changeling. We're playing all the things except for Wraith because I hate them and fuck those guys. Worst game ever created. So anyway. But yes, so so you're actually in here, and this is one of the things that you know about the shop. The shop is pretty much, it's nothing official. It's not like declared anywhere. It's not like Elysium for vampires, where when you go into Elysium, you are not allowed, no violence, no weapons, no nothing. That's not allowed to happen. And then for the werewolves, the sept is considered sacred. And so the only combat that's allowed in the sept is ritual combat, like challenges for leadership of the pact and stuff like that. Those things are the only type of violence that are allowed in the sept. It's their sacred ground. So the bookstore is like kind of unofficial sacred ground. Number one, there is a fairly powerful mage who runs the shop. There's a lot of supernatural creatures that he associates with that are often at the shop. And it's just kind of like common courtesy because he supplies a very necessary service to a lot of the supernaturals in Seattle. And so it's just a thing that goes around. So this is one of the few places you can go and kind of like not really have to worry about watching your back.
Yeah, which she appreciates.
Yeah. And
See,
plus,
I don't have to watch my back because I'm sitting in a corner where nobody can access my back. I have a tactical advantage that the window would not offer.
Except, through the wall, which can actually happen. But yeah, so Vera, you're in the shop, and you do, of course, have a very particular relationship with the owner of the shop, to the point where you actually have a crash space here.
Yep.
For times when you can't make it back to your place, or here's a good idea. I know probably other than Sphinx, who actually has lived in the area, none of you probably know a lot about the city of Seattle. So
It rains a lot.
there you go. There and there's
That's all I
coffee. And there's coffee. There's a lot of coffee.
That's okay. Vera really likes coffee.
Wait. Vera really likes coffee?
She used to.
So you basically, you go and...
She likes the smell of coffee.
I was gonna say, everyone loves that. But you actually go and like take your people you're gonna feed from. You take them to coffee shops first.
Yeah, come on, I'm classy. Come on.
Before I eat you, how about a double mochaccino?
Yeah, I'm gonna be classy about it.
And by the way, vampires do not have to kill to feed.
Right.
It is not necessary to do so. So if a vampire kills when they're feeding, it's either because they were very, very low on blood, as it were, and they can't control themselves, or they're heavily injured and they're in this almost bestial stage where they absolutely need the blood in order to heal themselves, and they will take it by any means. Yes, Milagros is playing a paranoid badass instead of a sweet, innocent dear darling. I don't know if she's paranoid.
I wanted to branch out.
Okay, so you can officially eat Fox Rider now because she's doing a white chocolate frappuccino with a pump of hazelnut and a drizzle of caramel.
Cool. Thank you for contributing to the cause.
So, but yes.
Don't do it in the shop, please.
Don't do it in the
Take them
shop.
somewhere else.
I'm not going to do it in the shop. I did that once, and you had to replace the carpet or replace the flooring. I learned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you guys are all in the shop for different reasons, and Sunny, you're the last one to arrive, mainly because you were getting all the information you needed. You were trying to compile everything up. So everyone's in the shop. Pandora in her usual spot. Where would your character be?
Probably at a table because I did bring my laptop.
Okay. Oh yeah. Do you go to Emery's first, or do you just go because you know where her apartment is?
She's just gonna bug Emery's first because Penny did just get off of work. She's not gonna bug Penny yet. She's gonna be like, Emery's, Penny is ignoring me again.
Because she's sleeping. She just got off of work and she has class in the morning. She
doesn't have class until noon on Wednesday.
True, but she's sleeping because she's tired. How can I help you?
She holds her laptop up, blue screen.
Oh, what did you do? What did you do?
I was trying to print the invoices out.
and you blue screened your laptop trying to print invoice. How do you do this? I tried. Penny even left step-by-step notes, and I followed that exactly, and I still ended up here. Did you get some kind of error message before this happened, or what? Walk me through what happened.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. I managed to post on Facebook today. I did it.
Very good. Not much to do with the.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. So, then I needed to print up the invoices because we're getting a delivery tomorrow, and I need to know for my morning stock person to know this is what we're getting, so they don't take too much off the truck.
Sure. Okay.
So, I go to print. I hit the print button. Nothing happened. I needed something called a print driver. I don't know what that is, so I tried
to... Yeah, that's a bit of software to help your computer speak to your printers properly. And if you don't have one, they don't talk very well.
So I tried, and then I hit a few things, and then my screen went blue.
You hit a few things.
I tried to do the task manager thing. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, did you end entirely too many tasks?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you remember where your power button is? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay.
She points at
Hold.
it.
She points at it.
Press it and keep pressing it until your screen goes dark.
So
Okay. Wait, that's how you turn it off?
That's how well, it's one way to turn it off. It's one way. And then give it to count to 12, and then press it again. But don't hold it. Just press it, so that the laptop will power back on.
She turns it on, and then it says updating.
It's updating your drivers.
You know, I don't think. Wait, it's supposed to update?
Yes. Do you not have it set to do that? It's supposed to do that automatically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it says restart computer, and I click ignore.
That's your notification to update the computer. When it says that there are updates, restart.
Why are you supposed to update it?
Because people are updating the software all the time to make it work better. And it can't work better unless those updates are installed onto the hardware.
Okay, I'm lost. What software and hardware?
So the programs that you use,
this goes on for a while.
Oh, Vera has walked by at least 3 times just catching. She's just like, okay, all right. And then walks back later. She's like, it's still happening.
Nearby, 6 feet away, please. 6 feet away.
I'm staying 6 feet away.
She's not doing anything to you.
Like her hands are up like this. She's like, what?
Focus on me. Focus on me.
Bad things happen.
I'm not doing anything. I'm walking.
What bad thing has happened in V's presence? V is a sweetheart.
You feel the waves of banality that come from her that are just like crashing of an ocean against your senses. You know.
It's the
Emery's is on banality. Pandora is nowhere near as bad. Mark is much better. And of course, if Sunny ever comes in the shop, that's amazing. But whenever Vera's around, you literally nearly feel ill.
Yeah.
Look, I'm staying 6 feet away. I understand our boundaries.
I appreciate it.
Do you?
I do. Thank you.
You're welcome. God.
What were you gonna say, Jonathan? What was Mark?
I'd like to walk by, but discreetly, like a cat would, just kind of behind her without her noting that I'm there. And as I just pass by with a book in my hand, just be like, hardware is the physical computer, software is the seeming, and just kind of keep going.
And you recognize him. You've seen him once or twice at court. He doesn't. He has a seeming. But it's, it doesn't fit.
Okay.
And I'm just like, what he said. Yeah.
Okay, now I need a cup of tea since my computer is working. Now, do you have a printer?
Yeah.
Can I use it?
We'd have to install a whole new driver for to work on your laptop.
Wait, you can't do the wiffle thing?
Wiffle thing?
The wiffle.
Come again?
The thing that connects you to the interweb.
Oh, you mean Wi-Fi?
Yes, the wiffle.
Wi-Fi. It's still. I can connect you to the Wi-Fi. We can connect you to the printer. It will still require a driver. It's an older printer.
That's stupid.
It's technology.
I don't like it.
So, Sonny,
I'm
about
sorry?
this time you're coming into the shop.
Okay. Let's see. Corner, Creeper. They're arguing about something. She looks uncomfortable. Okay, Vera, what'd she say?
You're still standing like this, hands up, 6 feet.
Yeah,
It's not as bad for you because your own personal banality is so high, but it's still very uncomfortable even to get close to Vera.
I should mention, so what Vera normally wears, her hair is actually black, and she actually wears a very reminiscent, almost nun outfit, where it's a black dress with long sleeves and a black rosary. Her hair's kind of pulled back in a braid. She's like 6 feet.
6 feet?
I'm standing over here, kind of like just
social distancing.
Yep.
Vera is social distancing. Was she being mean to you again?
I mean, not mean, not friendly.
Okay,
She's being very tsundere-ish again.
gotcha. And what's up with the computer?
Oh, she needed an update for her printers and accidentally ended more tasks than she needed to and blue screened herself. So we restarted it and she's updating now. That's fine.
Okay.
Just needed a restart is what it boils down to.
Okay. That's cool. Anything new?
This has been the newest thing today. Yeah, Penny's downstairs asleep. Store's running as usual. It's very nice. I am apparently tech support. Right
about then, the employees only door opens up, and it's a staircase down to the basement. And Penny is standing in the doorway. She's still in PJs. She has her phone in her hand, and she's like, she looks up, and she kind of looks at you, and she says, 32.
Huh?
32 text messages.
You texted her 32 times?
It didn't.
Penny, are you up? Penny, are you up? Penny. Penny. Something happened. You know you can put this all into one sentence and send it at one time.
Wait,
One
you
whole
could
sentence.
do that? You could do that?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like writing a letter.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this.
No, you don't have to try this now.
Penny just walks up to you and takes your phone out of your hand and says,
Oh,
"Go have tea." And she puts your phone down on the counter.
do you have that butterfly pea flower tea?
Yes.
Penny, you go back to bed. I will make her tea. It's fine. You need your sleep.
I already printed out the invoices, and they were in the outbox.
Oh. Alfred didn't tell me that.
Alfred attends to your needs. He doesn't actually work at your store.
He's the accountant.
Yes, but he doesn't handle the day-to-day operations. That's why you pay me.
Oh. Thank you, Penny.
She kind of looks around and she's like, "Oh, do you need help out here?" And you kind of look around and you notice that, it's kind of crowded, especially for this late. I mean, the coffee shops the tea shop's getting ready to close. Normally, you have people clearing out, except for the people who intentionally come this late at night. And normally there'd be like half a dozen people in here at most.
Yeah.
And you can see that there is probably just in this area alone, there's like 10 people, and the only ones you recognize are these immediate few.
I will kind of lean over to Penny. Maybe just for a bit. I'd recommend getting out of your PJs though.
It's like, she kind of looks at you and she says, "Fine." And she goes, and she kind of walks in, She turns around, she looks at you, and she kind of like the door streaks closed like she's slamming it, and at the last second it just goes click click, and then it goes click click, opens up, and she's fully dressed.
And I will walk over to Penny. I'll give her a hug, and I'll whisper in your ear, "I'll pay you double for the evening. Don't worry about it." She kind of like she melts a little bit. She gives you a hug back, and she says, "Shut up, I'm fine." And then she goes walking over. She immediately walks over to somebody who's like looking at one on the new release rack, and she's like, "Hi, can I help you?" She just like doesn't even begin to finish the conversation. She just walks over and starts working. Young people, okay.
You don't pay her enough. You don't pay her enough.
I
Yes, Mark.
don't pay her enough.
She just got a pay raise. She makes $15 an hour.
You do know that's the minimum wage here, right?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, I need to. You know what? When I get to work tomorrow, I'll have Alfred set aside 19. We're good.
That's a start. It's a start.
Jonathan, was Mark going to say something or do something?
It sounds like they left her phone on the counter because she walked off to get tea, and they've all walked away from it. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, I'd like to walk over there with my book, set my book down in front, pick the phone up, and then start scrolling through to see if there's anything really interesting in here before I need to put it back down and walk away.
Oh, you'll probably see, hey, Penny, what is this mean? Penny, what does this mean? Penny, what is this?
Wait. The first thing you see is a mailbox inbox with 345 unread emails.
Oh, is there anything in there from anybody else I might know that would be interesting?
90% of the emails are literally things that should be going to her spam folder, but because she's read them, they're now going to her inbox.
Okay.
And the rest of them, like the court doesn't really use email. But there is a bunch of there's a bunch of correspondence about her business. Different dealers coming and wanting to have exhibitions. There's different artists who are trying to get her to host their work. So there's a lot of business emails on there. She has
trying to contact her about her extended warranty.
Yeah. The biggest thing, the funniest thing about it is there's so many emails in here. Well, there's so many emails in here that should be going to her spam box that, like, because she opened the spam email and now they're going to her inbox, so that's why her inbox is just flooded with crap. And
she clicked the links and she shouldn't have.
Yeah. Well, that's
finance and mortgage.
Penny will literally, if she has to send her a document, will literally email it to her, and then when she gets to work, she'll open up her Rosalind's email and
Rosalind.
No, you did it wrong. Rosalind. Rosaline's. She'll open up Rosaline's email, and she'll literally find the email she sent to her to open it.
Oh my god.
Because otherwise it just gets lost.
Oh yeah, there's like a couple apps on there too.
Just out of curiosity, is your email address at AOL.com?
Oh
Yeah.
Or Hotmail?
Hotmail.
Hotmail. It's Hotmail.
Hey, I know people who still have Hotmail accounts. I'm 50, but I still know people who have Hotmail accounts.
I know people with AOL accounts still, so like...
But wait, is that just because they're being ironical, or is that for real?
No.
Oh yeah, there's like a Sudoku app on there.
Sudoku.
Sudoku app.
Sudoku, maybe Candy Crush. Seems like a Candy Crush person.
No.
There's a notepad. There's a notepad app on there that has notes going Penny.
Yes.
This thing isn't working. Penny.
Oh my god.
And then there's Tinder, and then there's no
Tinder.
She didn't put it on there.
Oh,
She's
God.
the last person who needs Tinder.
She didn't put it on there. She didn't put it on there.
Foxrider just tried to make me feel super old.
Oh my god.
as soon as my curiosity's been satisfied, I'm just going to kind of like put it back where it was, and then just walk away like I never touched it.
So, Rosaline, there, you're sitting there, right, and you're kind of like watching everyone kind of get back to their business, and you're like, you know, looking, you're turning towards your laptop and all of that, and right then, Brisket pops up beside you.
Babies!
And he has something in his hands.
Whose phone is that?
Kitty.
Kitty. Oh.
Kitty.
I don't have a phone.
Huh?
I don't have a phone.
You don't have a phone at all?
I can't pay for it. I mean, if I have one, it's disconnected.
Oh. Sorry.
Brisket can steal my phone. I don't know.
It's Emery's phone.
Oh man.
No, he would have tried to take Mark's phone. Oh, okay. Well then, I'm pretty sure you have one of these. He's sitting there and he has a billfold in his hands, and he's looking through it. And he looks very disappointed.
Brisket.
He's like,
Whose wallet did you steal?
Kitty.
Kitty?
Mm-hmm. And he's like, he takes his ID out and he throws it. He's like, he's opening up the money portion of it, and he's like, looks at it, he shows it to you. He looks absolutely dejected. There's nothing in there.
Rosalie looks offended.
He says, he takes the wallet and he's like,
All right, hold
bad kitty. Throws it over his shoulder.
on.
Oh my god.
Brisket.
Yes.
We talked about throwing things.
He kind of like on stubby little legs turns around, picks up the wallet, walks over to the trash can and dumps it.
Am I aware of any of this happening while I'm...
You can you see chimerical creatures?
I don't know. What
Oh
would I
wait,
need-
here's the thing. If at any point a fae chooses to spend a glamour point temporarily, they can enchant someone to see chimerical creatures. If they do that enough and then they spend a permanent glamour point, you can always see chimerical seemings. But you have to spend a permanent glamour point to do that. Now, werewolves can tell that there's a chimerical presence depending on what gifts they have. But for the most part, unless you're Fey and you have the ability to see chimerical creatures, or as in Mark's case, you do have the ability to see chimerical creatures, correct?
Yeah. I'm not full blown Fey, but I'm about as close as you can get without actually becoming Fey.
Yeah. And so you can see chimerical creatures, and I know that mages can get to the point where they can see chimerical creatures. For vampires, it's almost impossible, unless they actually go through the effort of spending permanent glamour on you. And I gotta look up the rules. I don't remember if it costs actually more because it is permanent glamour. It is a vampire. So I don't know if it costs more than one permanent glamour or not. I'll look that up later. But you can be temporarily enchanted to see chimerical creatures, or if you get to that point in a relationship where you're really trusted by the Fae, they can actually enchant you to see chimerical creatures permanently. They rarely ever do that because it doesn't just count for them, it counts for all Fae. So if they permanently burn a glamour point, which means you like literally erase it off your character sheet, and you spend it on the mortal or any other creature, you can enchant them to see chimerical. But in the end, like I said, it's a big risk because it lets you see all the chimera and all the Fae.
Okay.
So, but
I will just say for now that I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I maybe see like a things flying randomly if I see any of that at all.
Make me a wits plus alertness roll. Difficulty 8.
Wits plus alertness. Okay, you'll have to remind me of how these rolls work.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a number of d10s equal to your wits and a number of d10s equal to your alertness. You're going to roll those d10s and you're going to tell me how many you get above an 8 and how many ones you get.
Okay. That's going to be... Whoops, hang on. I just dropped one. Oh, there it is. Yeah. What's and alertness? Okay.
It's under talent.
Is
Okay.
Chimera being stealthy about any of this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I got none of them are above an 8, and none of them are a 1 either.
Okay, so no, you didn't notice anything. No, he's not. He was being stealthy when he was, lifting stuff off you, but he was not being stealthy when he was throwing it in the trash. He didn't care. And plus, he's used to people not seeing him.
So, first thing, is anything else missing?
From you?
Yeah.
No.
Just your wallet.
Can I see him?
Yeah, you can see Brisket.
Yeah.
But would you
gonna
be
go
paying
pick my
attention
stuff
to
up.
Brisket? Huh?
Like this is the egg.
Well, your ID is still technically on the floor because Brisket didn't bother with that. You go walking over there. As you go walking over there, Brisket is kind of still standing out there, almost in the open. And as you get closer, he kind of like he hops back, and when you get close enough to actually get to your ID, he like jumps all the way back behind Rosaline, and like kind of like gets behind her knee and like is looking around and kind of just glaring at you.
I'm not gonna look at him directly at all. I'm just gonna pick up the ID, and then I'm gonna go over and get the wallet out of the trash, and then I'm going to turn and glare at one of the employees and give them the look like I think they did it.
Okay. The employee looks at you and is like, "Is something wrong, sir?"
No, I'm just gonna say it kind of like nah, and then just grab the thing and just walk off.
All right.
I just want Brisket to not immediately realize I can see him or her.
Gotcha.
It is a he.
Is it he?
Okay.
With a name like Brisket, it's gotta be he.
You.
I have
So-
a character on WoW with that name.
Brisket.
Yeah, she's a Tauren.
Love it.
So,
Nice.
Sonny, you were here trying to ask Emery something, correct?
I'm actually a little conflicted on this because, I mean, just going and being like, dude, I have this student and this is what they're doing. I kind of feel like I'm sharing that kid's business.
You don't necessarily need to. Well, it's going to be obvious that it's for one of the students because you really wouldn't be doing that for the faculty. But you're not telling him exactly who the student is, and this is absolutely not normal, typical behavior. And it's very troubling for this situation.
Okay.
That's the only and you know that Emery's has, like I said, a lot of connections across the supernatural community, and your only other choice is to take the kid to court. And if you take him to court, it's going to become a matter for the Fey courts to decide what to do with the child.
Actually, wouldn't I want to talk to the she about this one?
So, no.
I mean...
And the long and short of it is no, because the she are assholes.
True.
And the biggest thing about them, and the biggest problem that leads into, is the fact that if the she thinks that child is a threat because there is something wrong with them that may cause some kind of exposure, they may do something like they do something where they call it returning, where they pretty much ensure that the changeling is returned back to the cycle.
Oh.
Dusted.
Yeah.
Because the
No.
risk of exposure is so great with someone who may not be adjusting well to the life that it may
Yeah.
be just simpler for them to move on.
Yeah, don't want to break the silence.
So
I
that's
hate
why
to
you're
see-
kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons you don't want to take them directly to court. If you had a better... If you had more resources within the Fae community, you might try and call in favors. But because you've been kind of like on the outside of Fae community because you don't attend court regularly, and because you run this school that doesn't just cater to the Fae, it caters to all kinds, you're kind of almost an outsider in your own community, so you don't have as many resources. Now, Emery's, because of what he does as a side business, he's developed those connections that you don't necessarily have. You have connections like to find someone to tutor the kids in, the proper ways to use their chimerical abilities, or to get Emery's to come out and teaching you new mage how to control his forces because he keeps on losing control and blowing holes in the walls, that type of thing. You have those resources, but Emery's has resources that go above and beyond because his resources lead directly into other supernaturals who then have other connections. And so you can try and find someone to help him out. You don't even know if Emery's may be able to help him out because, as far as you know, the kid has something going on, but you haven't been able to find out what.
He just won't talk to me.
Yep. And the only other thing is being very invasive and using your abilities. But that means there's not a lot of consent in that.
I don't want
Doing
to
it
go
that
there.
way. Yeah.
That's consent is key, and no, I'm not using. No, that's a big old no. Hell no.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
So are you going to attempt to speak to Emery's? Because that is what you originally came up here for.
okay. Yo, Emery.
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
Can you want to come talk over here real quick? I got an issue that I kind of don't want to be on prime time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Let me go ahead real quick and take this tea over to Rosaline, and I'll be right with you. Rosaline, sorry.
We'll
I
get
got the first part right, and it's the last bit.
At some point, she could be like, "Okay, y'all, just call me Rose. Just call me Rose. It's easier at one point. Just at one
Well,
bring
they-
us the rose, and I'll be right with
Yeah.
you. And I bring you like a mug of the tea you requested. Just hang out for a bit, let your computer restart and update, and you should be fine.
Do you know where my phone is?
Penny, where did you put Rose's phone?
Penny's like, looks over at you and she kind of like, she's helping, so she's like, got a couple of books in her hand and she's like,
Okay, it's got to be around here somewhere.
Yep.
did you put it back on the counter, Mark?
I put it exactly where it was,
Yeah.
exactly the way it was before I walked away.
That doesn't mean she actually knows where she left it, so.
No, I know, but I can't say anything, otherwise I look suspicious.
Oh, I think Ivy locked up.
Yep.
Oh no.
I see recovering lost connection on her picture,
She's probably
Yeah,
having
same.
some internet issues. I saw that
Yeah.
earlier too.
and
Yeah.
she has 2 bars.
Internet issues.
Yes, it is.
It's
Mark
okay.
sus.
We're almost there for the evening, but
He's the imposter.
who's the imposter? Oh God,
Mark Sus.
Mark Sus. So,
Why is Mark?
so you're pulling Emery's aside, Vera. What have you been doing this entire time?
So after a while, if people stop paying attention to her off to one side with her hands still up, she'll just kind of like side shuffle away. It's like, okay. It's probably hanging out in one of the far corners now, a little away from everybody else, but just observing, kind of sitting there like this, just watching as all of this transpires. Just, I think, enjoying herself a little bit, just taking it all in.
She's like, socialness.
So I'm socializing, right? That's what this is. Yeah.
So you're kind of drifted off to the corner, and that is kind of Pandora's area.
Yep.
So Pandora, you see Vera kind of drifting over. She's not really paying attention to you. She's kind of watching the room.
She's not even paying attention to what corner she's going to either. Like, she's not paying attention to it.
She's kind of like, and she's probably backed into the corner because you're watching everything else going on in the shop.
A little bit. She was like, I'm just going to sidestep a little bit and then back this way. Not looking in Pandora's direction at all. Has not realized quite where she is yet.
So what is your reaction to that, other than the cringe?
Like, she's just kind of shrinking further and further into the chair. And then she's like, oh, for fuck.
Oh God, here we go.
Here we go.
And she's kind of tosses this
on the floor, like in front of her.
On the floor. It just says no.
So an index card comes flipping up and lands on the front on the floor in front of you. There's nothing written on that side of it.
She was kind of kick it over with her shoe.
On the other side of it says on.
Rotate?
No.
What do you mean no? I'm just standing here. You can speak to me, I'm right here. Like, at first she's gonna be patient about it, and then, like, the longer progresses,
just move away.
Move away.
And she'll take, like, a couple more side steps off to the other direction.
Right as you're doing that, a customer comes walking out from the stacks in this area. It's a average Joe Blow guy, t-shirt, jeans. He's kind of walks out from the shelving, kind of looks over at you two, and there's noticeable tension. I mean, Pandora is glaring her ass off.
Vera's arms are never crossed.
I know, Vera's arms are crossed, and she looks very nonplussed, and he's like, I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?
That depends what you need now, doesn't it?
And
then remember, I'm supposed to be nice to the customers. Hold on.
I was just passing through. Sorry.
Well, no, you're fine. I gotta want to get side that's a little farther, and it's now on the opposite side of the room.
As he kind of walks by you, Vera. Normally, as people come that close to you, because he's like within like 2 or 3 feet of you as he walks by.
Right.
Normally, when people get that close to you, you get the aroma. You can smell the blood pumping through their veins. You can sometimes, especially if you're hungry, and you probably aren't particularly hungry because you have the blood pool you had on your sheet already. So as especially when you get particularly hungry, you can like literally see the vein in their neck pulsing. You know, it's just that whole classic scene from the vampire movies where you hear the heartbeat, you see the pulse in the neck, and but this time as he walks by, you smell none of that coppery rich goodness. And as he moves, you spend that little bit of moment and just kind of like are focusing in on it as a in the nature of a predator, and you don't feel a heartbeat. And just as you're realizing this, you kind of see another customer moving. And you realize that the next customer moving, and you don't know why you did not notice this before, but the next customer in the next aisle over looks almost exactly like the man who's walking away from you.
Just gonna kind of slowly let him pass. I won't say anything, but then it's actually going to take a couple of side steps back to Pandora, which is unusual for her, and kind of look down to where Pandora's sitting. Is you don't have to talk to me or like me, but just kind of look at these two over here, kind of nodding a little bit in their directions, trying to get somebody else to see what she sees.
It says twins, question mark.
I love the whole twins question mark. Okay, so as you're turning to Pandora and pointing this out, and you're moving around, you both at the front of the store, the person that Penny is helping, he kind of like looks, he turns to her and he fully faces her, and he says, he turns the face, he says, Penelope Alid Guerrera, you have been found to be an aberrant. You are a danger to reality. You are hereby condemned to death. He's like, the technocracy has spoken. And at that moment, every single other customer that's not you all in the store turns, their hands go up to the right, their wrist falls down, and a gun barrel comes out of the stump of their arm.
Oh.
And that's where we'll wrap for the night.
I hate you.
Oh,
You're not going after my kid.
What the fuck? Free my girlfriend
on
and
my
can't do
kid.
nothing.
I was just sitting here because I think Rosaline would have noticed that nobody in the shop was paying attention to her because...
Yeah.
Unless there was an effect in place that would stop anyone from noticing anything by covering everything with mundane.
Fucking technocracy. God damn it.
All right, ladies and
Rosaline is gonna be upsetty spaghetti.
Never put your hands on my kid. Just come out here. I just want to talk.
Oh my
Just
god.
want to talk.
You do not touch my kid. This is my kid. No, her and Emery. This is my kid.
Don't you ever!
So, we're going to go ahead and wrap for the evening here, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in 1 week with the official first episode of Emerald Sanctums. Thank everyone for being here. We're probably going to be on Twitch next week. I was mainly just checking out the cameras and everything tonight and getting us the last time to get some bonding between the characters and the players. Thank you all very much for showing up. But we will be back in 1 week with the first for the first episode of our new endeavor, and it's going to get very riotous in the opening moments. So
apparently,
please come back and join us, and we thank you all so much. I'm going to go ahead, and I just realized normally, excellent, thank you very much. And it will be, we try and stop at 10 because everyone's, we're all coastal here, and I know that it's midnight, it's 11 o'clock for Milagros, and it's 10 o'clock for me, and
11 for me.
And then Sphinx probably wants to go get dinner, and so
I'm hungry. Yeah.
So we're gonna try and wrap it at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're gonna be starting next week at 7 o'clock, guys. Ivy, I know is that still gonna be cutting it tight for you?
We cut it a little tight, but that's okay.
Are you sure? I mean, if
absolutely.
Oh, I was to say if everyone's okay going 30 minutes longer, we can move it back by 30 minutes.
That's fine.
I don't mind.
That's fine. Wednesdays are my day off from any games. So Wednesday, I can go a little later.
I set aside Tuesdays for this specifically, so you're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see if we can start at 7:30 next week, and we'll make that the starting time from this point on. And we will be getting into it next week as we see what happens when the technocracy throws down a reality squad on some poor supernaturals.
Woo!
All right, guys. Thank you very much, and have a very good evening. We will see you in 1 week.